And a 1 and a 2. And a 3 and a 4. Alright, cool. So, let's see. Gonna give people a couple of minutes to trickle in. And then we shalt begin. I like saying shalt. Back end mostly. I've been working with the language Elixir. What is Elixir? 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 What is Elixir? I've never heard of Elixir before. But yeah, how is everybody doing? Elixir? Elixir software engineer. Okay, software engineer Elixir. Oh, am I gonna find it? I've literally never heard of this. With high school, DOD, so bad job descriptions. Hey, Tequila Tom. Happy hump day indeed. Yeah, this person said, I've been working with the language Elixir for about 7 years. For most Elixir positions, I meet with the recruiter who says they think that I'm a good fit, but never hear back after the first interview. For other languages, I don't ever hear back. I'm open to switching language, but almost all of my experience is in Elixir. Elixir. Hey, I go deep. 96, welcome to the chat. I am doing well. I've got my what's left of my matcha tea. All right, it's gone. Okay, yeah, Elixir. I have literally never heard of Elixir. Let's see, engineer and Elixir. No, because I'm spelling it wrong. It's L-I-I. Okay, E-L-I-X. That was it. Okay, because I was spelling it wrong. That makes sense. Can someone who's a coder tell me what Elixir is? Elixir programming language. Okay, I got nothing for this one. I guess software, maybe Elixir and software. Okay, can I find anything with Elixir? Jeez, man. Like, what is this? Bad job description, that's what it is. No, wait, good job description. What the heck is this? I cannot find a single one. Software engineer and Elixir. Elixir? Yeah, I don't see any of this. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay, well, I have to go without it. I don't want to do that because I want to make sure they get it because they've been waiting. But, like, I don't know how to review an Elixir engineer. Can I find any Elixir engineer jobs? Maybe I can find one. Senior Elixir engineer. Okay, there we go. These are some actual positions. So there's 4 jobs that I found that are in the United States alone. That's not enough. Recent layoffs because of AI. Are they layoffs because of AI, or are companies using those as an excuse? Because AI has definitely hit marketing pretty bad and art, but the rest of companies, I feel like they would have laid off anyway. Is the CS marketing effectively over? No, I don't think so at all. I mean, I don't think AI has had as a big of impact as people think it has. It's mostly offshoring that I think is the problem. So, what is this? Directly on Motion Recruitment, which is a third party. Okay, monster.com. And this is in ladders. Okay. Yeah, they even say anything, like Elixir is like C or whatever. Okay, with GraphQL, PostSQL, AWS, Kubernetes, these are basically the same. That's all I can find. But yeah, I really don't think AI has had a big of impact in non-art and marketing careers. It has absolutely decimated art and marketing. That is for sure. But I don't think it's really been that impactful because those companies would have just laid people off anyway. So anyway, I go deep. How are you doing? I have to actually review this now. I've spent too much time trying to search for Elixir and I cannot find it. So I'm going to put common stuff, which is going to be Elixir. So a software engineer Elixir. But they really want anything else. So then we want SQL, Cloud, Kubernetes. So, and now movies. You know what? No, you're right. Movies has also been decimated. But movies have also been decimated for a while. It's definitely more of a final nail in the coffin thing. But you are right. Anything artistic, I will say AI has impacted. It has actually been pretty bad artistically. Because people that would normally be able to pay for an artist are now just like, I'm going to use AI. So... all right, this is the best I can do for this one. I am the Headless Headhunter. I'm a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. So this person is an Elixir engineer. I don't even think I'm pronouncing that. I have literally never heard of this language until this resume. And I will be perfectly frank, I have not found a job description that required it. I don't know if I'm searching the wrong thing or not, but this is the only thing I can find on it. So, unfortunately, this is going to be more of a formatting than a actual bullet points, but it does seem like at least the one position that I found was sort of equivalent to most software engineers, which is going to be like SQL, Cloud, maybe Kubernetes, that kind of stuff. So, if you are a software engineer, you need to specify the tech stack. And this person did, but I couldn't find any, so that's on me. But they said they have a ratio of 150 to 1, which is a terrible ratio. And for most Elixir positions, I gotta redo that. My breath. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know where that was, but that was uncomfortable. I'm doing well, applying to jobs at the moment. Can't wait to pass this. My first time here is the piece on the top left of your notes. So, normally what it is the piece on the top left is the keywords, which are the most important part. Unfortunately, I could not find a dang Elixir engineer, and this is what this person is. Normally, what they would be done is they would be filled with stuff like this for Python, or anything else. It's not just software; it's just there's a lot of it. So these are the things that we would be looking for. Unfortunately, I can't find whatever the hell this thing is. So. And while I'm doing the resume, I can't really look at chat, but afterwards I go back and answer. And you can ask any other question that you want, and then when I look at chat again, I will answer it. But yeah, normally it's filled with stuff like this. It just, if I can't find the job, I can't really get the keywords because I don't know all of these off the top of my head. I have a list of some of them, but different industries are going to require different stuff. So, but I'm glad you could join us. So, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. I am the Headless Headhunter. I am a corporate recruiter here to get you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. So, the resume reviewing first is a software engineer of Elixir on the back end. I will be perfectly honest with you. I could not find a single Elixir position. This person's ratio is terrible. It's 150 to 1, and that means it takes them 150 applications to get to one interview, which is not good. They said they've been working with Elixir since September 2018-ish, and for most Elixir positions, they meet with a recruiter who thinks I'm a good fit, but they never hear back for the first actual interview. That could be your resume maybe overhyping something, or they want something different than what they think they want, which can be a whole other topic. So, but for the other languages, you don't ever hear back, and that makes sense. So this goes for everybody, not just software engineers. I do review other non-software engineer resumes. It's just I review what people send me in the order they send me, just like a ATS does. Well, I review it, so that's how ATSs work, is they sort you in the first come, first serve. So if people send me other resumes, I will review other resumes. I think the next one is a recruiting coordinator too, so that's not software. But yeah, normally the most important part of a resume is going to be the keyword list up here, but I couldn't find a single Elixir position. I just couldn't. So, but I will say that the reason you are not getting any interviews with other stacks is these would be the keywords for like Python, as an example. And resumes need to be very specific. If a resume is generalized, it will fail. And in this case, Elixir may be so rare that I don't know if you have the right keywords or not, but recruiters and managers are looking for something very specific. You cannot just say, I am a software engineer. You cannot just say, I am even as a recruiter, you would need to specialize. You can't just say, I'm a marketer. You need to be very specific on what types of job titles you were applying for, and then make your resume based on the job titles you were going for. So this is why you're not getting it for anything else, but let's see, maybe there's Elixir things here that I could find. So first off, terrible formatting. Never ever do double column. You always want single column. The double column resumes are harder to read in volume, which is what recruiters do, and managers, and they will miss keywords that you have. So single column, this is peak formatting. It looks boring and basic, and that is because it is. The more boring a resume and the more basic a resume, the better your chances, because you get a better chance at getting an interview if your resume just shows the minimum qualifications. Resumes are awful at showing how good you are. Resumes cannot show how good you are. They are terrible for it. Their entire purpose is to show the minimum qualifications. So, single column, and then the only thing I see here is DB queries. I don't even see where you have Elixir. For cyber attacks, is it like a cyber security thing? Yeah, I see literally nothing on this resume. Oh, and people are going to harp on it like, oh, whoa, what about this? These don't count. Nor does the summary. So, you cannot have skills in a skills section. They do not work. I know that is the prevailing theory, but it does not work, and it actually makes your resume worse. If you do not show me where you did that skill under a job, a project, or an internship, volunteer, anything like that, and you do not tell me how and why you did it, it doesn't count. It will get rejected by the manager, and that's the unfortunate fact. So skills sections are largely useless. They do not help. At best, they are irrelevant. At worst, they hurt. Summaries are also not needed for most resumes. There are very, very few resumes that actually need summaries. I would say if you're switching industries, you do need one, or alternatively, if you need to explain like how they could work with your visa, or maybe that you would be moving to the area. Those are sort of the three reasons why you would want a summary. If not, then you do not want a summary. So the rest of this is basically what we have. Also, where's your education? Okay, I see it at the bottom here. Yeah, education should be up top, but this is not going to work for almost anything because there's no keywords here. This stuff right here needs to be here. If it's not here, it doesn't count. So that's all I can do on this. It is a formatting issue. So education up at the top, ignore the summary and skills section. They don't help, and put those skills in the bullet points. That way we can actually move you forward. In addition, if anybody else needs their resume reviewed, that are software engineer or not, I review other resumes, submit it in the link below, or alternatively, if you need more help, join me on my live stream. That's where I get these keywords. And this is a Python keyword list, by the way. So this is, join me on my live stream at Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2. And let's go to the next resume. Okay. AI development seems to come in leaps at this point. You've heard it with each leap that large chunk of the population loses jobs because AI is capable of doing things. No, I don't. I think there will be some job loss, but I think if we were in a better economy, regardless of that, it would not impact as much. I feel like mainly because the biggest problem with AI is it's not right. Is there are things that it can be used for that is very good, like grammar and translation, along with art, but it's not accurate. So it's realistically, the problem is you cannot just have someone just write AI code because it'll be wrong. You cannot just have them do it as a lawyer because it'll be wrong. And that's why I do think it will lose some jobs more than it creates, but I don't think it's as bad as you think. Again, outsourcing is the biggest issue. I promised last stream to remind you to talk about the difference between recruiters for agency and HR. Yes. I would be very happy to do that. So, first off, this is going to sound weird, even though it is. So, recruiters are not HR, even though they kind of are. Recruiters, as a general rule, even if they are wrapped up in the HR umbrella, that is true, but they're not really HR. The duties between actual HR and recruiters is very, very different. So when you are referring to HR in the industry, recruiters themselves and HR do not think of recruiters as HR. So that is the first thing. So you what they usually are called. Hi, Bear. Did you just kick down the door? They are usually called talent acquisition internally. Bear, come on. What are you doing? Okay, you're just gonna go with your toys. So they're usually called talent acquisition, or TA, internally for internal recruiters, and agency recruiters are sort of called recruiters. But anyway, so the difference between the two recruiters is volume. So as a general rule, also internal and external recruiters hate each other. I've done both. They hate each other. They absolutely hate each other. It's really, really funny. So internals have about, say, 35 to 75 active positions at once. And it's kind of like being a cook, where you have to cook about 170 burgers in an hour. No, 170 burgers in 30 minutes for a lunch rush. Well, external is the harder to fill roles. Like, let's say you need a actuary that will be able to move to rural Ohio. Then you would do a agency recruiter or external. And how they function is they sort of do which is what I am right now, is they find the harder to fill roles, the tougher to fill roles, the roles that you cannot just sort of post and pray, which is what they call it. So how they do that is a little bit different in how they source people, but it can kind of be broken down into internal recruiters, on average, find candidates through job postings. Those are called active candidates. And then external recruiters find passive candidates who are not aware that the job exists before they are reached out to. And if you ever have somebody reaching out to you directly that says, "Hey, Barbarino, are you a software engineer? You have the right skills that I'm looking for," that is an external recruiter most likely. So internal recruiters, high volume, high organization, high paperwork. They need to sort of oversee the generalized system and make sure nothing in the pipeline is broken. External recruiters, bespoke, they have a smaller number of requisitions, usually between 3 and 10, and they want to make sure that those are filled, and they can spend the time on it to make sure they are. So that's kind of the difference between them. But if you talk with a person at a company, they're internal. I right now external, but I was internal. So I hope that made sense and it wasn't too rambling, because they're practically two different jobs. They both get people hired, but one is overseeing the general process of a vast majority of requisitions and is a high paperwork, and the other is sort of very calm, and you need to be precise. So it, like I said, it's really the difference between a chef making 150 hamburgers in 30 minutes along with coleslaw and fries, and someone creating like a bespoke 40-minute dinner for 3 people that cost $2 billion. So I am in the DADS field, entry level, never heard of Elixir. I've never heard of Elixir either. So the reason I asked is because the Anthropic CEO put out an article today about how within the next year or two we would have 10 to 20% unemployment as more companies shift model and lay off more. Personally, AI saves me days of work, but it seems like we're getting closer. It'd be a whole bunch of work. Do you have one manager and one programmer you can place? I mean, maybe, but also you still need to, there's also a bit of an issue with, you need the people to put out the work, because from what I understand, AI is based on large language models, is they need a basis to do that on. And if you don't have a bunch of other people with a basis, it's not going to work. But I think AI will take some jobs. I do not think it's as much as people say, unless it's going to be in art or graphic design and marketing. But realistically, what it will be like is mostly another tool. I think it can lay off some people, like maybe instead of 10 developers, you need 9 developers, but I don't think it's going to be the end-all be-all of the industry as people assume. So, which I guess that would make sense, because if I said 1 out of 10 to 9 developers, that would be 10%, But there's a lot of people that switch to AI and then switch back. And a lot of the times AI is not actually AI. It's people that were outsourced and they just pretend to be. That's what happened with Amazon, at least. So this is a recruiting coordinator. That could be a couple of different things. So I hope that answered all your questions. Let me know if it didn't answer it, and I can go back and re-answer them. But so yeah, I guess my thing is, I don't think we need to panic about AI. So coordinator, recruiting coordinator. This is going to be on site probably. But yeah, ask me more questions and I shall answer. So MS Outlook. Here's also the problem is typically recruiting coordinators more of the schedule as part of it, but they usually want to be on site. MS Outlook, ATS, and then we want to do like Workday, Taleo, ADP, etc. So we have to name the ATSs, MS Teams, maybe Slack. Let's see. So coordinate over time zones, background checks. Let's see. I was wondering, since AI is different from, say, the conveyor belt losing people, since AI is wide-reaching. I mean, that would be bad. I don't know if it's... The problem is we're already going to go into a depression. I think if we had this in any other, if any other, time in the United States is, career, this would not be a huge issue. But the problem is it's already impacting on the already amount of layoffs. So I really don't think it is overall going to shed that much jobs, but because everybody else is shedding jobs because of the market, it's going to be worse. I think once the market corrects itself, it won't be as bad, because also you still need people to code AI, and those developers that would say, get laid off because of that, they now need somebody to code it and manage it. So, but the problem is, again, we're already in a terrible economy. So, and it's going to get worse. Education. So we want multitask, attention to detail. Recruiting coordinator. Probably. Are these all remote? Wait, am I only looking at remote jobs? No, that's not right. Normally, these are not very remote. Usually, they're like these people on site. Coordinating in-house, scheduling. Yeah, they want scheduling. So, a recruiting coordinator is kind of like an admin assistant for recruiters. That's not 100% accurate, but it's close to what it does. So, but yeah, like, I don't think AI would have been bad if it was in any other time. Like, if AI hit during 2020 to 2021, I feel like people would barely notice. But it already hits in a time where everybody's laying off, jobs are shuttering, we have a terrible economy, and it's going to get worse because of the administration we have. So, it's not good. Okay, now, are they doing coordinating manager as in... Okay, manager. I dislike the overuse of the word manager. I think overseer. I know overseer is so dystopian, but I want something besides manager, because you need to oversee the process or you manage the people. And then we want recruiter, HR, recruitment /HR. And I think that's it. And on site, a lot of these roles want on site. Is there anything else I'm missing? I don't think so. Coordinate over time zones. We have background checks. We have did I say calendars on here? Scheduling and calendars. Let's add scheduling and calendar. So, Watchman, right? I think that's all. I mean, that's pretty basic from what I know. This is what I might have been able to do without looking at it, but I always like to double check. Oh, yeah, or G Suite we could do. But there we go. Recruiting coordinator, follow through, Workday, Office Suites. Yeah, so that's Outlook, G Suites. Okay, that'll be good. All right, we have an ad in a second. I need to use the restroom real quick, and I will be right back. Wait, did the ad? Okay. Okay, back. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Oh gosh, do I have a sneeze coming? Wait. Okay, I'm good. So we got a recruiting coordinator. Let's see. This is a resume of a recruiting coordinator. The last time they went job hunting, they got an offer in 2 weeks. They don't know why they're not getting any traction now. Well, it's probably because the market is terrible. In late 2022, the market started to crash and hasn't recovered since then. So it looks like this person probably got a job right afterwards, based on this. So yeah, basically getting a job in late 2022 or getting a job there and it starts in the next year was sort of like getting out of the last ship at a disaster. So the market is terrible, especially for recruiters right now. So what we're going to be looking for a recruiting coordinator, which for people that do not know, this is kind of like a recruiter secretary. That's not exactly correct, but they are going to be scheduling. They are going to be scheduling all the interviews. They're going to be making sure that the paperwork is gotten to the right place. So it's closer to think of them as sort of like a specialized recruiter secretary. Again, that's not exactly correct, but it's close enough for the layperson. So what we're going to be looking for is MS Outlook or G Suites, your education, ATS, and then you do need to name which ones you've used, such as Workday, Taleo, ADP, and HRIS or HRMS if it was one of those as well. MS Teams and Slack. Scheduling and calendars is huge. That is a majority of the job. We want to know that you can coordinate over time zones, that you can initiate background checks and keep the paperwork going. Multitask and attention to detail, also very massive. You need those. Those are like the key ones. You've done previous recruiters and HR jobs before, and on-site is a huge bonus. A lot of recruitment jobs are on-site. The ones that are not always, but often outsourced to other countries. So, with that being said, we do not know their ratio, but I assume it's bad. Let's see what it is. So, detail and proactive recruitment professional with 20 years of experience coordinating. Okay. Again, no summaries. Summaries do not matter. We want to see those in the job descriptions. So, you were from an RPO. That is fine. An RPO is a recruitment process outsourcing. I've worked for one or two before. This should be on one line. Remember, this is the formatting you want. Also, let's look for education. Education is okay. So this is okay. It was high school and not a bachelor's, but they did actually want high school for a lot of them. So it's okay to not leave that up at the top. So I'll have an exception. Manage job posting across multiple platforms, ensuring accuracy and visibility to rep talent. What kind of platforms? Review and refine client supplied job descriptions. Okay, so typically coordinators are not the ones that do the job descriptions. That's usually the actual TA itself, but it's okay to have a sentence with it, but that's not what I'm looking for. Coach recruiters are for data entry and system usage, enhancing. I don't care about that. Like, that's not your job in most of these. It's good. It's impressive. I've done the same, but it's not something you really want to put on. Audited ATS data to maintain integrity and timely updates. What data? What ATS? They want to know. Was it Greenhouse? Was it Workday? Was it Taleo? Was it something else? They need to know. Oversaw candidate onboarding and streamlining process. Again, you don't tell me how. So here's sort of the problem with this. Is this a giant thing? You only mention one ATS, and you don't tell me what kind it is. And you also say that you did onboarding, which is, we're including that under background checks, onboarding, I-9s, that's the same. So this giant waste of space, there's only two two things that I'm looking for. And even then, those are not sort of the biggest ones. I need to see not just that you've multitasked and you had attention to detail. How did you do that? You can't just say I multitask. I cannot say I am a good recruiter because I don't tell you why. I am a good recruiter because I placed 3rd out of 55 over placements, and after going through my training, the sourcing team made 180% increase in placements. So that is why I'm a good recruiter, but I can't just say it without giving you the background. So how did you onboard them? How did you streamline? Did you use did you use G Suites or MS Outlook or MS Office? That should have been MS Office, not Outlook. Sorry. Outlook is included under Office, but was it Word? Was it Excel? How did you multitask? I don't know. And this is going to be the most important thing, especially for an RPO. They usually like that. So create, maintain, and update field trip MS Access. I don't know if I'd really care about MS Access. Receive and review field trip information per year. Okay, but like, how did you input it? Create reports for provide customer service. Again, not really anything I'd be looking for. Okay, very large school district. Administered leadership selection pipeline. I mean, that could be okay. Screen applicants, because this is recruiting, not necessarily recruitment coordinator. So yeah, this is sort of your big problem, is this is spread across multiple things, and the market was pretty good at this time. Well, it wasn't, but you probably got hired beforehand, right before it crashed. So I need to see these things. And I think you need to sort of retool your resume into probably one of two different things. One is for recruiting coordinator. The other is for the actual TA itself, which is talent acquisition. Admittedly, those names can sort of go together, but the roles of what a talent acquisition person does is not always going to be the same as a recruiting coordinator. And these are the things that I care about. I didn't see nothing about calendar management. I didn't see anything about background. Well, no, you had onboarding, but I need to know more. What part of the onboarding was it? I-9 background check. So you need to give me detail. You are telling me not what or how, but you're telling me why you did these, and I need to know what and how you did as long as the why. So there's a reason this is not passing, is it does not have the information that we would need. Just imagine, right? Think of your resume, even if I know you've done this, is you'd probably has had to source for somebody that you don't know what they are, and you see a person with no experience on there. That's what this is. It doesn't show any experience that they really want. So that's all I could really do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. Let's see. What's up, Headless? Oh, hey, Tiff, I forgot to say hi. Hi, I am good. I am here. I did a recruitment coordinator, which is, like I said, kind of secretarial. It's not quite like, I don't want them to get mad at me, but that's sort of the biggest way to think about it. But they're the one who is going to schedule interviews. If there's a admin task that the recruiter does not have time for, they will probably be doing it. And a lot of people sort of say that a recruitment coordinator is like a step 2 recruiter, and I guess it is, but recruiter by itself can very much be an entry-level position. So, and they worked at an RPO, which is a recruitment process outsourcing. So that is, that was what I've worked at before too, which is sort of eating up a lot of the recruiter jobs. But how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? I got real southern there. Wow. What is this? What is this? What's this? Okay. I am trying to say fully remote. I don't technically have a health condition, but I swear to pick up every single illness if I'm in person. Bro, same. It may not be clear on my resume, but bank credit using box hardware stores are fully remote. Okay. What is this? A content and communication strategist. Is that what is a content? I don't know what that is. Are we gonna find any with that? Let's see. Communication consultant. Okay, this is not something we are going to be able to find. Content strategist. Okay, but a content and communication strategist. I don't know if this is what, because these are consultants. communications consultants, but I don't think this is right. Anybody in chat, this is not your resume, right? Giving people a chance, because I don't know what a communications specialist is. Is it a communications specialist? No, because that's public relations. Might be communication specialist. Is there a difference? I don't think so. But just in case, we are gonna do a question mark. So in this case, it's gonna be stakeholders, multitask, meet deadlines, I guess large scale events. Photo communication marketing, MS. I think this is the right one. I'm always hesitant to give somebody the wrong keywords. So I don't know, because these are communication specialists. I don't know if there's a difference between the two of them. Healthcare and travel. I think this is it. These are horrible job descriptions, though. That is darn for sure. Stakeholders, contractors, video games. Okay, I think this is it. These are at least some of the keywords. These are definitely not all of them. So, this is a resume, and I use this in quotations, of a content and communication strategist. I will be honest, I could not find a job title with content and communication strategist. The best I could find was a communication strategist, which was sort of like a PR person. So these are the keywords I found. Take them with a grain of salt. They may not be correct. I want to be clear. I do not know if these are the right keywords, because I could not find the right titles. If these are the correct for like a PR person, we're going to need like stakeholders, multitask, meeting deadlines, large scale events, previous, like how you did it. Like, you know, like, was it through newspaper? Was it through internal communications? Then we also want Office Suite products, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, Microsoft Teams, and SharePoint. And there are probably more, but again, I don't know if those are accurate or not. So hopefully they are at least some of them. So this person has a ratio of 150 to 1, which is terrible. And they are trying to stay fully remote, which I do not blame them for. People, you do not need to justify if you want to do remote or not. It is going to tank your chances, but, you know, that's... I fully get it. I've worked remote. I love working remote. So no judgment on that one. It's just going to make it a little bit harder. So let's see what's wrong with this. What is this? Okay. Okay, so I think this is marketing. So this is not good. Okay? None of this is here. I don't need any of this. This is not what I need. So there should be... You really... Okay, here's the thing. People ask, what do recruiters want? What do recruiters want? It's the bullet points. This is what we want. This is a checklist. And yes, everybody is correct in that experience trumps education, but education is a checklist where we can just say, okay, got it, and move on to the next one. So you still want your education up top if it's related. Then you want this stuff, and then you want your work history. This right here is doing nothing but hurting your chances. Same with this. So realistically, this resume doesn't actually start till down here. So you can delete those. Again, if you have a skill section, it just doesn't count. You need to show in the bullet points how you did it. All right. So this is formatted badly. You need to make it look like this. This is peak. This is harder to read. Collaborated with IT. What do you mean collaborated? I hate the word collaborated. Like, did you walk into the door and say, hey, Bob, and then that was your collaboration for the year? Or did you say, work together to create Excel templates and PDFs to troubleshoot mobile apps, right? Like, what does collaborated? Worked with is fine, but like, what did you do? Lead webinars, this one could be a keyword. Guide members through wire. Like, again, I know these keywords are not 100% accurate, but the ones I did say, these are not really what I'd be looking for, except for this. The troubleshooting guide could be good. But what did you create the troubleshooting guide for? Was it a video guide? Was it in Word? Was it in PowerPoint? Was it in PDF? Who did you present it to? I need more. Consistently provide high-level support via email and phone channels. How? Top of the mountain recognition. Okay, here's the biggest problem with this. And there's a huge issue with this is people... If we cannot understand your brag, it's not a brag. Consistently provide high-level support via email and phone channels, earning top of the mountain recognition 5 times for customer support. I don't know what a top of the mountain is. I don't know how important that is. I don't know if you were the one in charge of that. You could have, again, you could have been the one who gave yourself that award. I don't know. So I would honestly probably just redo all of this resume. I don't think I see anything that's salvageable. Yeah, there's like nothing salvageable. And again, how did you improve efficiency by 35%? How was that a metric you actually tracked? And its satisfaction score could be. But yeah, you need to. Because like, again, like in the previous one, I said, I am a good recruiter. During that job, I made President's Club. Cool. What is President's Club? It's different at every company, and the person reading your resume may not know. So I wouldn't necessarily say President's Club. I would say President's Club, as I was placed 3rd out of 55 other recruiters. That gives you context. That is why you want to do that. So you cannot give me no context. None of this is decipherable. None of this is gonna work. Video monitoring. Yeah, I don't think I see a single bullet point that I would need. So you will need to focus on the keywords. Please pick 10 to 15 jobs that are good job descriptions, which I'm going to make a guide on that. It's just coming along very hard, slowly, but find 10 to 15 job postings that you want. Look at the qualifications, the need to have, nothing else in there matters. And if it's not in those 10 to 15 job descriptions, it doesn't matter. So the reason you are having an issue is not just because it's remote. That is harder to do, and you would you know, normally I'd say a 1 in 50 is a C-. For remote, you need to add 25 to that, but because it's just harder and it's more competitive. But there's nothing I can see here that is salvageable. This needs to be completely rewritten, and I'm not trying to be rude. I know what you're going for, and what you're going for, you need to have a amazing resume, and this is not it. So formatting is off, bullet points are off, and even here, I really don't think these are going to be the keywords they're going to be looking for. Cross-functional maybe, but that's like it. So let's go to the next resume. So what did anybody do anything cool over the last 2 days? I did normal stuff, but I'm working. Okay. So people, I know people want me to make a guide, and I want to do that as well. But I think I'm going to try and make a resume app where people can just sort of input the information and it would put it back down. So I had to learn how to make flowcharts and draw IO so I could sort of graph out what it's going to be like. So I am working on that. That is, I want to be clear, not going to be done for a very long time. But I can at least do a bar graph of like what you need to do, the order, if yes, if no, what happens. And I'm also creating a list of bullet points, sort of like a template of like common bullet points you can use to fix it. So it's like used X, Y, and Z to create X, Y. If you're leadership, you want to do this and that. And then I'm going to sort of combine them with the flow chart so that people can just auto do it themselves, and then it will parse out a resume that works for them. That is the plan. That plan is very far away from being completed because I did that over Monday and Tuesday, and it is not a quick thing, but that is what I'm planning on doing. So the goal will be like teach people how to find the keywords, which is arguably the thing I struggle with the most to teach. And then it will be, once you have the keywords, you can then input and put it into this. So, is there anything y'all think that I may be missing in regards to that? But I just want to make sure I'm not missing something at the design stage. Because the design stage is arguably like one of the most important things. And I think I do know a coder that can like help with that too. But so yeah, I've got like graph charts now of like, are you X? If yes, Y? And then it moves down, and then it moves over here, and then it moves over there, and it's like blah 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 blah. So, because I know that is what people want, and honestly, I want it as well because I talk to candidates, and I know that not everybody. The biggest struggle when talking to candidates is getting them to redo the job description, like redo their resume, because most of the time it's bad. So that's awesome. Helpful. The examples are helpful. Yeah. So if, in fact, do me a favor. I know this is really weird because I know it here. I'm just not able to do it. If I gave you a good sentence or so that makes sense, just put it out in the chat real quick and I can copy paste it. Cause I just started this since I really want to make sure I do it. Cause like, that's why I used X to do Y, but I need to start like actually categorizing these and identifying them and not let it slip from my own mind. Because if someone gave me a bullet point, I can fix it. But in a vacuum without that content, my brain is like, we can play video games. And I'm like, no, brain, we got things to do. Okay, so internships specifically for machine learning and data science. I feel like those would be different bullet points. They're different jobs. But yeah, the examples I really want to do. Because I know everybody, that's like a big problem with it. Honestly, my biggest issue is it's kind of been a nightmare to try to teach people how to find the keywords. So I may need to experiment with y'all in chat after I have like a basis of it. Because I know how to do it myself. But like, that's not helpful. I need to impart that knowledge to others. Yeah, so these would be that is what I thought. So those are different jobs. And I want to make it easier. And then you're going to have a little app and it's going to be like the Headless app. I don't know. I don't know of a name for an app. And then you put in the information and it would parse out a resume that you could then use. Although it would probably be kind of a boring process because, like, it's... I don't know if I can make that part fun. That will probably just be like... My idea is it's sort of like doing the taxes in the tax websites where it asks you if you're X or Y, and then you put in that information. Okay. Which, would I love for that to be interesting? Yes. Do I think I can do that? No. But the keywords are arguably the most important, and that's the one I need to figure out how to do, because that needs to be the teaching moment. In fact, have I taught people how to find the keywords? Is there something I have said that allowed people to find the keywords better? Because that is my struggle, is how to teach that. Okay, what is MS, PhD, or postdoc? So PyTorch, TensorFlow, deep learning. So education, and then this is going to be ML. And then this is going to be data. What do they want? Scientist. How many resumes you got left in you? I got 2.5 to spend on a line prior. I wonder if you'd rather wait a day. No, you can do it. It's fine. I just started like an hour ago, so I'll probably do... I mean, the really thing is, how often do I have to look up the keywords? Because the keywords are what takes the most out of me. But I just started, so I got some in me. No, it doesn't need to be fun. It doesn't need to be functional. Yeah. The mental gymnastics is just put your work accomplished on your resume in a way that is attractive to recruiters, exhausting, especially. Yeah, no, it absolutely is. So the thing is that is a second step. The first step is keyword finder. So, but no, you can use the points to spend on the line prio. I will do it after this resume. If you spend it, I just want to make sure I get this one right. So these are going to be data science, machine learning, ML developer. I just wanted your thoughts on my changes. Check your old video on my resume. Yeah, what? Yeah, I can do that. I can double check the keywords for that. Was that the I forgot. I'll look it up again. So, okay, research intern, PowerPoint, research specialist, software development. Okay, so this is gonna differ. Mechanical engineering. Okay. Yeah, I mean the biggest problem with mechanical engineering keywords is it's specific too. So like, are you a brake engineer or are you an aerospace engine engineer, that kind of thing. I know SolidWorks, CAD, AutoCAD, Python. So, all right, I think this is good for now in this one. But yeah, use your skip function. Is this the same resume? This is the same resume. Education and I'll play towards Python. Okay. All right. And a 3 and a 2 and a 1. This is a resume of a data science slash, they put me a lot of stuff. Data science slash machine learning intern. Realistically, a data scientist and machine learning intern both would require slightly different resumes. So they said they're applying for internships. They've submitted about 100 applications. You've only received a few first round interviews. That's actually not bad. Like, internships are highly competitive. If you get like 2 or 3 internships out of 100 applications, that's pretty solid. Let's see. Not a fan of skill sections. Believe me, I've heard you. I may try a version without it soon. One interesting pattern they've noticed, they tend to get interview calls from established companies. They don't perfectly match your resume's keyword. Yeah, you don't need all the keywords. You need about 75%. That's about the break point to get a interview, is about 75%. So, but when I apply to roles that align closely with my experience, regardless of sign or pay that includes the keywords, I get fewer responses. It's probably because ATSs sort people on a first come, first served basis. So if you are spending more time to put in more keywords, you are lowering your chances because you are going to get behind them. Like, nurses and accountants can afford to wait like a week, but internships could, if you don't apply within the first hour or two, you may not get seen. So let's look for machine learning. These are not going to be all the keywords, but again, interns are slightly different. So aspiring NLP, don't care. All right. Education, this should be, so the formatting's off. You need to make it look like this. So nothing here should be bolded. It should be just black and white. This should be one line. I don't need this. This can be good, but again, one line, that's all I need. Skill sections, again, don't care about skill sections, should be deleted. Then course tester for AIDE courses. Nothing here should be bolded. This should be one line, and then validated Python-based and related tools for coding assignment across multiple ML-related projects, ensuring 90% accuracy. So this part I don't care about, but nope, this part I don't care about. It's not going to show it. There you go. This part I don't care about as much. But this is actually a pretty solid first one. It said used Python and other tools, but what were those tools? For coding assignments across multiple ML and AI. Those are most of the stuff. So what we're going to be looking for in internships specifically is that you can take direction and criticism, that you can work well with others, you have your education up at the top, which you do, and then ML stuff, so PyTorch, TensorFlow, maybe like Hugging Face. There's going to be a lot of those, essentially. You can ignore. this part. There's going to be a lot of different keywords for that, but primarily I just need a very small basis. Like, I don't need to know that you're the biggest coder ever. I don't need to know 1,000 of them. I just need to know use Python, use SQL, use maybe APIs, and possibly cloud, along with some AI stuff. So this resume is too dense and it's hurting it. Enhanced course content ranging from DE to ML. What? Okay, here's part of the problem. Hopefully, if you're applying to machine learning internships, they know what ML is. They may not. Hopefully, they do. But also, you can, if you're applying to, say, NLP, they may not know what NLP stands for. So you want to write it as machine learning, and then in parentheses put ML, and then throughout the rest of the resume, you can use the acronym. And you want to do that for a lot of others, especially NLP. So they may not know what that is. Because if the manager just told them look for neuro, I forgot what the L is, processing, and you say NLP, they may not realize it. So, and I don't care about enhancing course topic, but you do have some of the right stuff. Git is good. Yeah, this is too dense. You over-engineered it to the point where they're not going to be able to find what they're looking for. Because remember, for internships specifically, we're not looking for 1,000 different things. We know you're not the best. That's okay. You're an intern. You're here to learn. And I need to know that you can do that. And I don't see any of that here. Yeah, how do I know you can work with others? How do I know that I can tell you, hey, your name, Bob McBoberson, your code is not very good, but here's how to fix it, and you will not freak out and run out of the building crying, or flip a table. I need to know that you can work with others and be led, not that you lead. So it's not the worst because your bullet points are okay. They could be a lot better, but this is, I understand why you're getting about 1 in 100. Because I guess that's actually what it is. It's not 1 every 3 or 4 for every 100. It's about 1 to every 100. But some of these bullet points are okay. Like this, if you just had this, it would be good. So stop thinking we need to see the best of the best of the best for internships. We just need to know that you have the basic fundamentals. You can work well with others, and you can take direction. And in this case, those basic fundamentals are going to be for machine learning stuff. So Python, like I said, SQL, API, Git could be good, PyTorch or TensorFlow, and then NLP, ML, that kind of stuff. And then if you have an acronym, make sure it's the full word first. Then in parentheses, you have the acronym. And then throughout the rest of the resume, you could use the acronym. But yes, this is absolutely hurting you. This is also hurting you. Let's go to the next resume. Okay. Broad Crafting, happy Wednesday. You remember a few weeks ago, updated based on feedback and casual apply for listing since I'm still at work. I had a screen call today, fingers crossed. Yay! That does. Nice, congrats. Yeah, well done. So do me a favor, if it ends up getting you a lot more, which it seems it did, if you could go back to my website where you submitted it, and then just go to the bottom and leave me a testimonial of how it helped you. I realize I should have been collecting those, so please go do that. It helps me out a lot, and I am glad that you got in an interview. So, awesome, thank you. Because yeah, I need to take my own advice and not, you know. I need to do my own advice and show my work has been successful and how and why. It's not letting me spend on the line skip. I can do a Boolean bear treat, which is 2.5k, but not skip. Weird. Just do those, and I'll count it as that one. I don't know why that. I need to redo a lot of those, but it's just kind of lower on my list of priorities. So, okay. Well, we're going to give bear a treat anyway. And then I will get to yours afterwards. Oh, good stretch. Oh, we have actually almost run out here. Yeah. You know what time? Oh, you're happy? Yes, that's the last treat of that. We have a little bit more downstairs, so I'll have to get some. So, stay. You know the rules. Stay. Go get it. No, you can go get it. There you go. Good boy. Kaibe, you were machine learning. No, you were mechanical engineer. Did you have your name in the thing? Brain. That was coherently. Did you have the name in the thing? Do you have your name in the notes section? Kai. Yes, I think you do. Is that no? That's R&D engineer. Oh, you're about to submit it. Okay, yeah. Just put your name, Kaibe, so that I know. It's a lot easier. Okay. Was that it? Was that all you wanted, sir? Was that your treat? Come here. It's under the same name as the previous one. I don't know if I could show that. Okay. Let me find it. I'll figure it out. Machine learning. No, it's mechanical. Why do we keep mechanical? All right. Resume. Okay, I see. Ah, okay. Oop. Let's not have you do that. So this is okay. Cool. So let me double do that. All right. Okay. Anonymous cool guy. That would be kind of messed that up. All right. Anonymous cool guy. Well, I could just have that be later. That is okay. Yeah. So that's actually going to be in 5 episodes from now. So that is in. Mechanical engineer. It is 152. All right, anonymous cool guy. Okay, let's do this in the writing page. It is education, CAD, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, 2D, 3D, 3D, designing, modeling, simulation, FEA, take criticism and can work in a team, MS Office, Word, Excel, Outlook, Teams, and then bonus is type of engineer and industry. Okay. Yeah, no worries. I found it after, but I was like, I'll just keep looking at this. Okay. Crud. All right, this is 28 aerial. 28 aerial. There we go. Okay, let's shrink that down a wee little bit. There we go. Okay, this is good. This is going to be way out of order. You're out of order. And you know what? That video... Okay. Alright, so previously submitted my resume. Thank you for the way the updated version. I know myself working in teams. It's a shorter, hopefully short enough to express section work with SolidWorks. Okay, cool. So let me do this here. Technically, this is a first version of one of the things. So this is gonna have to do the intro again, and we have 100 to 1. I hope the at least new version is helping. So there we go. We're doing this. My brain just stopped. There we go. All right. Three, two, one. Smile. I am the Headless Headhunter, I am a corporate recruiter here to help you get ahead of your job search. Wow, I cannot speak. I review resumes. This is a resume of a machine learning intern, not machine learning. This is a I've done everything wrong here. This is a mechanical engineer. All right, mechanical engineer intern. So let's see what we're going to be looking for to mechanical engineer is education, CAD, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, 2D, 3D, designing, modeling, simulating, FEA. I don't know what that stands for, but we want to see it. Take criticism, can work as a team, MS Office, and a bonus is the type of engineer and industry that you have done before. So as an example, it would be like aerospace engines or, I don't know, healthcare tests or something. So let's see. This is the second version. We don't know what the ratio is because they haven't started applying with this one yet. So let's see what this is. All right. So typically you don't need the LinkedIn if you have the portfolio. Realistically, you kind of want one or the other. You don't really need both. And in this case, you can probably have you have the portfolio instead. So I don't know if you need the LinkedIn. That's a minor issue. But otherwise, this is okay. Education, good. Work history. So, process engineering intern. Ensured reliable performance of paint production lines by monitoring equipment, resolving on-site issues, collaborating with cross-functional teams to improve all efficiency. So, this is not a bad bullet point, but this is also not a good bullet point, specifically for an intern. So what I would like to, and this is sort of where you can put in like the type of engineer. I know it's assumed that Sherwin-Williams is going to be paint, but we don't know that. I mean, we don't know that what part of the production line, right? Like what was it? Was it the conveyor belt? Was it the, I don't know anything about conveyor belts or production lines like that. So I've actually worked for PPG as well, but like, I need to know a little bit more. So this is not a good intro sentence. What you can say is say worked on and like monitored, resolved and worked on, or here, like this is actually pretty good. So monitored and resolved equipment issues such as, you know, whatever those equipments were. And you can use it broadly enough that they would know, along with like what see, this is the part that doesn't make sense as much. Collaborating cross-functional to improve efficiency. Just say like along with doing X with a cross-functional team. So remember, we don't need to necessarily know a brag. It's not like you can't do brags in your resume. That's okay. But resume is by its nature terrible at like, you know, showing how good you are. Resumes are terrible at showing how good you are. It's just not what a resume is for. So used AutoCAD to model 2D layouts of electrical panels, perfection. And the facility fire safety system, providing accurate visual plans to support coordination between engineers and maintenance, as well as to guide repairs. So this part is really good. I feel like a lot of this is sort of extraneous, though. Like, I love the fact you say electrical panels and fire safety systems, but I'd also like to know, like, you know, you do say modeling, but did you use CAD? It's just a little long. I think you can shrink this down. That's kind of my big thing, is this is a little bit long for a, remember, mechanical engineer intern. Designed automated Excel tools, good to generate production reports and visuals, saving engineers. This is okay. Again, I actually think this is okay because this is sort of an understandable brag, because you can't just say improved efficiency, but saving an estimated 12 hours per month on a presentation prep is okay, right? So that's okay. It also shows that you did Excel. Communicated with operation, understanding equipment needs and staff, corporate feedback. This is good. And corporate feedback from engineers to improve project deliverables. So here's the problem. I don't necessarily need to know that you improved project deliverables. I need to know that you improved. Remember, you are an intern. You are there to learn. Internships are, by their very nature, you learning. So is this bad? No, I don't think this is horrible. I don't want to say this is awful. It's not. It's just okay. But we can sort of shrink a little bit of it. And I do need to know that you can take criticism and work as a team. but we do have MS Office, we do have AutoCAD, we do have 2D layouts. I can see the education up at the top. I saw that you did modeling, so that is very good as well. So we have about 50% of those. Ideally, we need a little bit more, but let's look at the next one. Assisted in consulting local manufacturers on lean manufacturing strategies, pay plan visits, boot camps. Again, this doesn't really show me what I'd be looking for. Work with team interns to build a robotic sorting system by jointly determining design object, coordinating mental feedback, then presented the finished system to local manufacturers. So this is not bad, but I feel like this itself could be broken down into 3 separate keywords. The first one is a built robotic sorted systems by X, and then worked with other interns and mentors to incorporate their feedback to do X and Y. And then maybe something else. But this is not terrible. Just, oh yeah, that's the problem. It's not even being shown on the screen. This is what I was talking about. So it's not bad. I just think this could be broken up and replace this. And then extracurriculars, which is contributing to structural component design for a student Rockery Club organization by taking direction from club leader into mentoring juniors. That's solid. Use SolidWorks to design structural components. This is good. So my problem is you can probably shrink this a little bit. Maybe even only have like this 1 or 2 bullet points. And then you could just put this under projects. I don't know if I need to know that it's extracurricular. We could just do projects. And then that way you can also kind of like not have the date itself because the projects are not as relevant for dates. And then you could have this, which actually has some good stuff, especially because it has battery container, which shows what you did. So that's how you improve it. So to summarize, it's a little bit too wordy. I see about 40 to 50% of what I need here, and I need 75, but you're very close. And then this is really solid, your second one, but it's possible that it's, because it's so wordy, they may not go down that far. So, and you don't need to, formatting wise, again, you don't need to tell me how long that project is. You can just say projects as well. So not the worst. I don't want to say this is an awful resume. It's not. It's just internships are very difficult. So I'm going to guess with this new one, you will probably have a 1 in 55, 1 in 60 ratio. And we want to bring that down to a 1 in 40 to 1 in 30, which is how many applications it takes to get an interview. So please like, comment, and subscribe if this is helpful for all of you. And if you need help on your resume, you can submit it below. And if you need help for me where I find the keywords, I do it on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter. The link is also below. And let's go to the next resume. Yeah, I found summary points in your template a bit confusing. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, no worries. That's why I'm also like, I need to fix this a little bit because the summaries people are kind of getting confused on. Like, ideally, we don't need any keywords there, but I feel like if you can put 1 or 2 and it's good. But yeah, again, I don't think this is bad. I just like, I think you can rewrite this. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure this is accurate. Let's see. 1521 1521 1521 1521 M 1521. All right, this is going to be an episode 152. So it's going to be quite a little bit because we're doing episodes 146 right now. Each bullet point with a kind of summary, do they make sense? Kind of. But they're still here. I'm gonna show you how to rewrite this. So is it not gonna? Okay, well, copy paste. Okay, so this is your current bullet point. What I would like to see instead is modeling and okay, so. By monitoring. Oh, monitoring. Okay. That was what it was. I misread my own writing. No, wait. Where was the modeling? Monitored. Paint. Production lines by X, Y, and Z. with a cross-functional team. Although I don't know. So what is it that you did? Like how did you monitor it, right? So I don't know how you monitored it. Because that's gonna be that kind of matters. So the other one was I'm getting very confused with all my separate pages. All my pages on ABC. And then we can do this, which is used AutoCAD. Okay, that was it. To model. Nope, don't capitalize that, Lee. Model 2D layouts of electrical panels. Nope, not capitalized. Why do I keep doing that? Electrical panels for our fire safety system. So this can be transformed into this, which saves some stuff. This can be done to this. So essentially, we're walking to make sure they're running, talk with operators. If it wasn't anything, why come section? Yeah, but like, okay, so monitor production lines by, here we go. This actually can be very helpful. So by communicating, right? Communicating with operators, taking their feedback. Never trust my grammar. And how did you suggest proposals to fix it? Suggest proposals to RX to fix the issues. This actually shows you that you communicated too. Look at this. Monitored, and again, don't ever trust my spelling. Ever trust my spelling. Or pronunciation. I would also radio maintenance, communicate the issues when they got there, would walk them through. Oh my god, that's even better. Yeah, okay. Monitor paint production by communicating with operators. Here we go. Oh, that's perfect. So communicating with walking through like, not guiding. What's the word? Guiding them through fixes. Yeah, and guiding them through fixes. Right, there we go. So communicating with, there we go. Okay, let me redo this. So not communicating, we will say monitored paint production lines by, I feel like the key bullets is that you don't need to describe what you actually distracting the teeniest condensed parts so that most relevant. I mean, the point of a summary is so that if they know it's in the right area, because they may not know that a process engineering intern is the same as a mechanical engineer intern. But yes, I think this is a flaw in my system, and that I need to fix this to show it better, because people are not getting this part, and that's on me. So monitored paint production lines by walking, troubleshooting. That is through it. Okay, by walking, what is it called? Would walk them to make sure they're running until there's other than one. Okay, walking operators through maintenance troubleshooting. What is it? That I think it could be not monitored. Is troubleshot paint production lines by walking operators through common through fixes. By walking operators through fixes, taking their feedback, and proposing new plans for fixes. Not plans for fixes. Few information from auto troubleshoot with maintenance stuff. Okay, there we go. This is what it is. My brain is not working. I'm sorry, y'all. So, paint production lines by, and then we could just put in what you said. Receiving information from operators and troubleshooting those issues with maintenance staff and other engineers. This is what you should do it. I feel like the key to bullets is that you don't need to describe what you actually just treating condensed parts, troubleshooting. Or just finally, like I may have done A, B, C, D at work, but if only A and D are relevant to the role, I can just skip A and D. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. A generalized term is pretty good. So this right here, this alone can fix it. So you can say troubleshoot paint production lines by receiving information from I guess paint operators, whatever they're called, X operators, and let's see. Wow, I cannot do a sentence today, man. I don't even know why. Normally I'm much better at this. My brain is just not working right. Okay. Troubleshoot payment journals by receiving information from X operators. Okay. Grammarly, please no. Could you replace the first troubleshoot with maintained? Yeah, I think that's probably better. Again, normally I'm... there we go. Maintained paint production lines by receiving information from X operators and troubleshoot those issues with maintenance staff and other engineers. This already shows that you can work with people, right? Maintain paint production lines by receiving information from X operators and troubleshooting those issues with maintenance staff and engineers to provide fixes. So this is what I would do. I got sleep too. Like, I have no excuse for not being able to do this. So that is a way that shows that you can work well with others. Let's see. So used AutoCAD to, and then this will be the second one. Model electrical panels for our 550 system. Right? Boom. So those are probably 2 bullet points that are much better, that already save space. And the first one I sent, this one, maintain paint production lines, shows that you can work well with others because you troubleshoot those issues with maintenance staff and other engineers to provide fixes. So that right there shows that you can work in a team. And already, because of that, it now shrinks down what we have. So. And that also means you don't necessarily need this, but you can. Let's do the last one because maybe we could fix it. So we have communicating with operators to understand equipment and proof of incorporating feedback. Yeah, treatment information from X operators, incorporating those feedback and troubleshooting those issues with maintenance staff and other engineers by incorporating the operator's feedback. Now, I think this is fine, but because this alone kind of tells it. Does that make sense to everybody? Am I off my rocker today? I just want to make sure that I'm making sense because I feel like I'm off today. And then we don't need to say communicator. We can just say worked with operators I do like to understand equipment needs and incorporate our feedback from engineers, from our engineering team. Incorporating our feedback. Okay, let me redo this. All right, this is bad. So worked with operators to understand equipment need, incorporated. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Worked. This is what the incorporated one is. My brain is not working. So worked with. I guess it goes for the other positions. I mean, you'll kind of only need to show it in one, but worked with. Oh, here it is. Nope, I know how to write it. Okay. Incorporated feedback and criticism on my plans from our engineering team to... No, that was... Okay. Okay. I think I'm close to this one. I swear, y'all. I'm sorry. So, took feedback and criticism. After our engineering team gave feedback and criticism of our feedback on my what is it called modeling, designing, what is this, plans to fix plans. I incorporated them with our, what is that called, our operators to fix issues. Okay, so after our engineering team gave feedback on my plans, what is it called? Okay, you said it earlier. Incorporated, yeah. Okay. What you said it earlier. I swear, I don't know why. I'm so off today. To include that, receive information from operators and troubleshoot with maintenance staff. That was it. So that maintenance staff and other engineers would give. Where was it? You said maintenance radios. Wanted to interfere. Why come up with solutions? Jeez Louise. And other engineers would give feedback on my solutions for our operators. What is it? Our paint production lines. And then I would incorporate them with the production, what is it called? The operators to fix the issues, their issues. My brain. All right. This is better, but it's not there yet. So these would be your first three, which is maintenance staff and other engineers would give feedback on my solutions for our paint production lines, which I would then, no. Engineers with these provide fixes. Why is my brain not working? Okay, I'm gonna refocus. Give me a second. I need to refocus for a second. Right, that's it. That's how we do it. Maintain the production lines by suggesting if you want BS word salad, collated in action feedback from my maintenance staff producing collaborative. No, you don't want word salad. You want the opposite. I'm close to getting it. So I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty with this. Normally I'd be able to do this in like 5 minutes. So, but I think the real thing based on this, yeah, is this should be the same sentence. So maintained paint production lines by incorporating feedback from our maintenance staff. Okay. By suggesting fixes, which were then by suggesting fixes to our maintenance staff, who would then give feedback those fixes before maintain paint production lines by suggesting fixes to our maintenance staff, who would then give feedback on my proposals before I what is it called? Troubleshoot those issues with our operators. Okay, this is a little better. So maintained paint production lines by suggesting fixes to our maintenance staff, who would then give feedback on my proposals before I troubleshoot those issues with our operators. Does that make sense, everybody? I think that is much better. Operators have received notice of issues from operators, and by the notice, redo checks, cause analysis to report issues and staff and walk them through to solve the issues. That is probably better. No, I know you have an ad. It's okay. You can't hear me right now, but I'm not talking about you. Maintenance staff who would then give feedback to my proposals before I implemented them. I think just this. Okay, we are back. So how does this sound? Because Tiff got it right. I cannot think today. Maintain paint production lines by suggesting fixes to our maintenance staff, who would then give feedback on my proposals before I implemented them. This shows that you can get feedback, and it does actually show that you can work with other people too. So it should be as the first sentence that. And then we can have used AutoCAD to model 2D layouts. And then we can have this as communicated with operators to understand their equipment needs, support maintenance staff during repairs, incorporate feedback. In fact, I don't know if you need the end part of this. You could just have this, and that'll be a little shorter too. Communicated with operators to understand equipment needs, supported maintenance staff during repairs, and supported maintenance staff during repairs. There we go. So these are probably going to be your bullet points. There we go. So you should still have the Excel one. The Excel one is good. But these are going to be the three. So maintain paint production lines by suggesting fixes to our maintenance staff, who would then give feedback on my proposals before I implemented them. Used AutoCAD to model 2D layouts electrical panels, communicated with operators to understand equipment needs, and supported maintenance staff during repairs. Those sort of give you everything. So, and keep this. You're keeping these two. I want to be clear. Do not delete these. Those are just what we have. So your whole thing, it's going to be this. Let's see. We have that. We have the AutoCAD. So it's going to be... panels in a fire safety system, providing accurate visual plans. There we go. Okay. I already have it, Lee. You already have it. Your brain is gone. All right, let's... So that's 4 bullet points, and we have 4 bullet points. All right, by the way, electrical panels, fire safety are separate items, but I can change that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Change that on your own. So these are going to be your bullet points. These are it. We have this up top. Then we have used AutoCAD. Then we have this. Although the last two could be switched, and then this. And those should be your first one. And that already hits AutoCAD, working together, taking criticism, Excel, and 2D layouts. So that already knocks out most of these. And it saves you space. We still would like modeling, designing, or simulations, but I think you have that in the second one. So, but that already is good. So, do you have any other questions? I hope those helped. Double check the spelling and grammar. Never trust my spelling and grammar. That is something that nobody should ever trust. But beyond that, that is how you do it. And thank you, everybody, for helping. Normally, I do not need that much help with that, but I absolutely needed it this time. And then I just got spam on my email. How do I... Okay, I should block. Will you be releasing this as a VoD? I'd like to go back through the process. Yeah, it'll... Yeah, I should do that. I should do that after the stream. I mean, it does... I'm really bad about releasing it to other my other channel, but I have another one which I will try to do after this stream, which is the full VODs. So, do I have it? Am I going to the wrong one? Yes, I am. It is... Alright, the last one I think I put up was like 3 months ago, but I will do it after the stream. I'll put some up. And I did not... I lost my thing. Okay, I'm all over the place today. I got sleep. I don't have like an actual excuse for this. Normally I'm like, it makes sense. I have nothing. I am... there we go. That should be it. So this is the full streams. I really don't do it as much as I should. I will do it after this. Let me make a note on my phone, so I will do it for you. So just give me a minute. Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. All right, so I think that is everything you needed, correct? All right, so DevOps. I do have DevOps. Okay, cool. Yeah, just do that. But overall, it's not, like I said, I don't think it's terrible. I think putting in those fixes should help you a lot. So, okay, cool. My brain. All right, we can now do the actual keep goings of the resumes. So, did we go from a D- to C+? No, so actually I think it was a C-. I think this is a C- to a B, because internships are so competitive that... And this is an internship. I hope that I didn't screw around and that wasn't an internship. It should have been an internship. Internships are so competitive that a 75 is a C-. So this is realistically like a 75, like a C- to a B. I feel like my glasses are off. So, all right. DevOps, cloud. Okay, this person. Yeah, it was. But I would say this is a C-, right? This will probably get you a 1 in 66 to 1 in 75. Because remember, internships are very competitive, so like a 1 in 75 is not the worst for an internship. It's not great, but it could be a lot worse. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is a resume of a junior DevOps cloud engineer. No, it's not. I didn't actually bring it up. This is the last resume. This that is over here. This is the resume, and it's not. That's a redo. We're doing a redo. It's like 5 episodes up ahead. All right. Delete, redo. Okay. We're good. All right, we're good now. Do I need a nap after this? I cannot afford to take a nap. I have too many things I need to do. This is a resume of a DevOps / cloud engineer. Well, technically it's a DevOps resume, but honestly, as far as I can tell, cloud engineer and DevOps have the same keywords. It might be slightly wrong for cloud engineer, but DevOps engineer, this is the actual keywords that we're going to be looking for. So, they are, let's see, what we need is cloud, DevOps, CI/CD, Docker, infrastructure as code, IAC, troubleshoot, Kubernetes, monitoring and logging, catching, scaling, and parallelization, GitHub, SQL, network protocols, firewall management, and security. This, we do not know the ratio. They only know that they've gotten 2 internships, one through networking and the other through a school career fair. So assuming this is not an internship, which it, again, because the resume that gets you an internship is probably not going to get you a full-time job. You need a little bit of different stuff. So I'm going to judge this as if it was a full-time job, but hopefully that is correct. So, education, this should be 2 lines. Probably, you could probably fit that into 1 line, and then I don't need this. Nothing here should be bolded. Nothing here should be bolded. This is the formatting you should be using. Also, everything besides your contact, all of this should be 10.5 Arial. It's just easy to read, 10.5 Arial. It's also dyslexic friendly, so that's the kind of font you want. But the only thing that should be bolded is this, and this. Nothing in here, nothing in here. So, designed and deployed a scalable cloud, good. Using, was Terraform one of them? No, but it could have been. Implementing CI/CD, good. Manage SSL certs, I don't know if that's needed. And reverse proxies, full deployment across both developments. But this is okay because, again, this has CI/CD and it has cloud. Ideally, you would say cloud infrastructure, and then you would put in parentheses what kind of cloud, because they may want to know if it's GCP, they may want to know if it's AWS or Azure. Automated SSL certificate with renewals. I don't know if SSL is really needed. And EC2. EC2 could be. That may be more for the cloud engineer than the DevOps. So, improving uptime, security, and disk usage. I don't know. Oh, no, security. That is that's good. Reduce cost by Docker to Amazon Linux. I don't know if I care about this. Migrated between SNHA to Docker. Terraform. Terraform could be a keyword. Updated usage, delivered AWS cloud, it's good. Excel reports, AWS. So yeah, I need a little bit more, but this is not terrible. I think their biggest issue is you kind of just repeat a lot of stuff, but you have some good stuff here. I see the cloud, I see GitHub, I see CI/CD. I see security, I see scalable cloud. So there's a lot of good stuff here. And I think I saw Docker as well. But yeah, you just have a lot of extraneous stuff. Like you mentioned SSL and EC2. Way too much in this. It's okay to have some of it. It's just you're repeating a lot of information and space is a premium. Also, this is very difficult to read because the font is very small. So it's okay if your resume is past a page. That's okay. It's okay. Don't panic if your resume is 2 or 3 pages. Realistically, the most important thing of your resume is what people can see right here, which is the first half of the first page. So this is the most important part of the resume. Okay, collaborated with teams to comprehensive value by AWS, automated report, cloud storage, email. So yeah, I don't think this is bad. I think it's just too wordy and there's a lot of extraneous stuff. If you take out the extraneous stuff, you will probably be getting some solid job offers. We're talking like probably a 1 in 35, 1 in 40. And all you have to do is just sort of shrink it down. So yeah, firewall here is just, I don't know if they're going to see that because there's so much stuff over here. Projects. Is there anything I'm really missing? Not sure I really am. So yeah, just shrink it down a little bit. But overall, this is pretty solid. And that's all I can really do for this. So that's the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. If you need more help, join my Twitch stream at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter. The link is also below. Submit your resumes, and I will get you ahead of your job search. Job search. I cannot speak. I don't know what is wrong with me today. Maybe that was too much caffeine. Like, I have a low tolerance to caffeine, and maybe that was it. Maybe I had too much caffeine. That matcha may have been too much. But yeah, this is way too much wordage, but they actually did nail a lot of keywords, so it's not terrible. Okay, that's good. The next one is the name but no contact. Let me go down a little bit. There we go. All right, and this is, I want to work remotely on an IT role. Most of my experience has been IT managed provider. Can also code. I've been looking for a job for almost 2 months. For each 50 applications, I only got, what do you mean for each 50? I feel like they typed something. Perhaps living in Venezuela is kind of the issue. I usually go with outside, see shows play. They accept filtering jobs that accept applicants from Latin America. Okay. Optimizing my CV. Okay. Because the person said they have a ratio of 1 to 50, but they then said they're out of 50 applications and only got 5 interviews, which is phenomenal. So I can't tell if what they want. All right, IT support specialist. They did say in Venezuela, so but I think they're applying in the US. But can I do Venezuela? Venezuela. Nope. Probably because it is in another language. I wish I could speak another language. If I could, I would probably speak Spanish, then maybe Mandarin, if I could choose. I think those would be the languages I'd want to know. Mac, Linux, Android, Windows. If y'all could learn another language, which one would you choose? I know people can just do that. I can't. I'm terrible with it. But what would be thousts language? Yeah, those are pretty common. Troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is huge. I learned a good chunk of French in middle school. I want to learn Mandarin. That's neat. I think that's cool. I just always am impressed by people that can learn other languages because I'm really bad at language. Oh, this is actually where CompTI would be used. Bonus CompTI. CompTI or Microsoft Certified Desktop Support. Office Suites. Team, minimum qualification, Outlooks, Teams, Azure. Azure? Really? CompTI, Mac. Oh, Mac. That was what I was. Excuse me. No, I have Mac. Okay, so like mobile devices, Androids, CompTI, Linux. Okay, cool. Yeah, that should be good. I think this is enough. All right, we have an ad in a second. Let me use the restroom real quick, and then I will be back. All right. I am back. Azure Enter now is Microsoft Identity Manager. Broadcrafting says, oh, okay. Allows you to log into another software with your work Microsoft account. Okay. See, that's new to me. I didn't know that one. All right. That is going to confuse a lot of people. Primarily people trying to look for a job, which is not good. Well, I guess it's going to confuse the people that are reviewing those. All right. And I am the Headless Headhunter. I am a corporate recruiter here to review your resumes to get you ahead of your job search. The first resume we have up is an IT support specialist. So normally when I review these, I know like how many applications they sent, know how good or bad it is. Unfortunately, in this one, I think there was a type, like someone put an error because it says it takes them 150 apps to get a single job, which is not good. But then they also told me that they got it for like 1 out of 10 jobs. So something is off, but I'm going to review this as if I did not know the ratio. So what we're going to be looking for in the US, at least, this person is in Venezuela. I tried finding some of these in Venezuela, but I couldn't because they are probably in, I assume, Spanish, and I cannot speak it. So I wish I did. What we're going to be looking for is Mac, Linux, Android, or Windows. Not necessarily all of these, just that companies usually have an environment and they want you to work in that environment. Slack, Zoom, and Google Workspace. Education, customer service, networking, IP, troubleshooting. Multitask and meet deadlines is huge. Microsoft Office suites. And again, this is probably the biggest one that I want to highlight again is troubleshooting. They really, really want to know that you can troubleshoot stuff. Then Microsoft Office suites, and a bonus, but not required, but is a bonus, is CompTI and or Microsoft Certified Desktop Support. So if you don't have those, it's not a deal breaker. It's just a huge plus. Because I see a lot of people put CompTI on everything. And I'm like, I don't think it's needed for a lot of stuff, but this it's needed for. So let's review this. All right, education, good. None of this should be bolded. Well, it highlighted everything. Okay. The only things that should be bolded is this and this, okay? And maybe your name at the very top. You do not want everything bolded. It's not letting me highlight everything, right? But this should not be bolded. So, all right. Otherwise, this is fine. Let's see. Provided L2 IT support. Is it okay to put L2 on here? It might. This might be a case, although it's possible that one company's L2 is another company's L3 or L1. So diagnosing and resolving. This is a good word, diagnosing and resolving. 40 medium to critical technical tickets weekly. The rest of that is not good. Expertise included cloud, good, security. Okay, so this is too wordy. This is way too wordy. What I would like you to say is instead is supported, diagnosed, and troubleshot tickets as they came in, right? Tickets in cloud, security, and third-party vendor escalations, along with software and OS troubleshooting, or software and OS, while meeting all my deadlines, okay? Something like that. But this is very incomprehensible, especially because I feel like your font is off. You really do want Arial 10.5. It is the best font. It is easy to read and boring, which is what you want. So, IT support specialist. Analyze and documented incoming technical problems to either resolve them directly or escalate appropriately. This is fine. Also, remember, every single bullet point is a single sentence. It can be a run-on sentence. It can be a long sentence, but it needs to be one sentence. So this would be a bullet point. This would be a separate one. But provided comprehensive support for end users on both Mac and Windows. Good. Closing 25 help tickets. The problem is 25 help tickets per week could vary by company, and it's possible that 25 at one company is terrible at another. So I don't like you putting in 25 help desk tickets per week because they may not know how good that is comparatively. You really want to say like multitask or made multiple simultaneously tickets while meeting all of my metrics, right? That way they know that you succeeded, you did your goal. But 25 help desk tickets per week could be phenomenal, or it could be absolutely a super low performer. So Problem solving and resolution, positive user. So here, if you got a lot of positive user experience, this is where you can put it in. This is a brag you can use, like helped people, blah, 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 which resulted in like 30% or a high user experience rating or something, right? You have to make it understandable as if I do not know your industry. Simplify complex technique for both senior and non-technical clients, ensuring effective and clear communication. This is okay. I like what you're going for here. It just, you said it weird, because you are the person that needs to tell somebody, hey, your computer's unplugged. This is how you fix it. And you need to say it like, I think it's okay to say, like, solve problems by simplifying complex technical concepts for both senior and non-technical clients. That is okay, but you wrote it, weirdly enough, complex. So, develop full stack SQL database. I don't think I care about this. React, architected Kotlin. Again, I'm not looking for a software engineer. I'm looking for IT support. Firewall switches. Ooh, this might be useful, the rest of this. So, yeah, it's not a great resume because I really am missing a lot of stuff. Like, I saw a troubleshot maybe once. I don't know if I saw networking, and the biggest problem is this is the font and how dense this is they may miss what they need. So I know I say a lot, you need more keywords, you need more keywords. Well, you do need more keywords, but you also need to make them simple and easy to read. Remember, someone has 15 seconds to read this. That's it. That's all they get. I've spent, what is this, like a 3-minute video so far? I've spent way more time than I would be physically able to do. So that's all I can do with this one. You need a little more keywords. You need to simplify it for the layman, and probably a different font and less bolding, because that will make it easier to read. Do that. You should get more interviews. So that's all for this resume. Before we move on to the next resume, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. If you need to send your resume, it is free. It is in the link below. Or you can join me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2. That is where I get these keywords. That is where I create them and find them, and I can show you how, because I've not found a easy way to make a video showing people how to get the keywords. I'm working on it. It's not complete yet. It's going to be a bit. So let's go to the next resume. Boop, boop. Okay, Bear. I hear you. I know. You did a huge sigh. It's really hot out. I refuse to believe it was 68 degrees. It is like 100 over here. What is the temperature in LA? I need to look that up. LA temperature. 71? No. I refuse to believe it is 71. It cannot be 71. I do need more light, though. I think that might be why I'm not able to concentrate, is this room is way too dark. Okay, what is this? Data analyst. Yes, I have this saved. Excuse me, but first, we're going to save IT support. Yep, I was in the wrong part. Okay. This is an IT support. IT support specialist. I think I spelled specialist wrong, but whatever. There we go. Okay. So this is data analyst, I said, I think. Yeah, data analyst. I got like more DevOps in a while. Data analyst. Okay. And what did they tell me? Who are you? What did thou say? We do not know. The world may never know. I want to transition from software to full-time data. I'm currently working as a freelance, but the company informed me they won't have any work. Therefore, starting to reach full-time roles. I have focused my resume on Python, SQL, Tableau. Present roles data set whether it's strong enough for full-time. Okay, data quality analyst. This is a resume of a data analyst. So they are transitioning from software engineer to data analyst position. We do not know their ratio, but what we're going to be looking for in a data analyst is SQL, Excel, Tableau, whatever, Tab, Skibbity, whatever, Power BI, AI, ML, Jira, Python, R, subject matter expert, because you are the one who knows the data, data visualization, ETL, which is extract, transform, and load, I think, stakeholders, and that you have solved issues with data. So let's see if we have it. All right. So first off, the education is not up top. Yeah, you've got a master. It's ongoing. That's fair. But wait, you just went. So at the very bottom, and I don't think anybody can see this, is they have a B Tech in electrical engineering, and then they are currently enrolled in a master's in statistics. It is okay to put the master's up at the top, even if it's in progress. So that is okay, because they may actually like that you are in statistics and stuff. But let's see. So this can be deleted, doesn't help. Develop and maintain an automated ETL. Cool. What's ETL? I know I said extract, transform, and load, but it's possible the person reading this doesn't know. So what you want to do is an automated, whatever that is, extract, transform, and load, and then in parentheses put ETL so that they know that that's what it is, and then throughout the rest of the resume you can put ETL. Pipelines to ingest and transform merchant and vendor data using Python. I don't know if I really care as much about Python. I do care about SQL, though. Implemented data validation. Is that something I care about? No. Checks and anomaly detections, don't really care. Leverage. I hate the word leverage. I don't. It's not a knock against the candidate. I just really don't like the word. And you probably shouldn't use it in your resume unless you are talking about negotiating. That is when I use it. My mic. This is completely off. I am sorry. Let me fix this real quick. So, leveraged rejects, and I don't care about rejects, and custom scripts to clean. Everyone talks about clean data. I don't think I've seen a single job description that says it. Unstructured data from improving downstream. I don't care about that. So here's the problem. This is the job you're currently in, and this is going to be arguably one of the most important things. This is the fact of where you've done data and analysis stuff, not software engineering stuff. I barely see anything here. I see ETL, but you didn't describe what ETL was, which you still have to do. And I only saw SQL, and that's it. That's all I saw. Where is the Excel, the Tableau, the Power BI, the Jira, the Python? Python is there. Sorry, you do have Python. Where is the subject matter expert, data visualization, ETL? You have stakeholders. So you only have like 3 things, and I need more. Built scripts to validate, clean speech, integrated SQL. SQL is fine. SQL is fine. Python is okay, but I don't have anything else. Where's you as a subject matter expert, right? You could put something in here about like how you explained the data to non-technical people. So Excel and Tableau all the way down here. Why is it all the way down here? What is stuff in here? Also, nothing here should be bolded. So yeah, you have a problem that there's only like 3 or 4 things I need. And if it's possible that this is not related, then leave it off. Because let's see, pandas, is pandas needed? Uncover, no. SQL, yeah, okay, so the only thing I found is SQL, Excel, I think Power, Tableau, yeah, Tableau, Python, and ETL. Am I missing anything? Did I find anything else? I think that might be it. So 5 to 6, you need way more. So this stuff needs to be here. And if they're in projects, that's okay. But I don't really see anything here that is relevant. So especially if you're transitioning to a different industry, you need to have those up. So this is like not the worst because you at least have some, but I definitely understand why you would be getting a not great ratio. because you don't really have what we would be looking for. I really do need subject matter expert along with data visualization and stakeholders. Those are going to be key, and I don't see those. I need those. So let's move to the next resume. Okay, we have a DevOps. I don't know exactly my inter ratio, but in 2 to 3 weeks, I got like 3 to 4 interviews, applied to around 60. I know I have Linux, but to be honest, it's kind of a requirement, and I don't think it doesn't even need to be mentioned. I mean, if they do. Find a job outside of Brazil. Okay, DevOps engineer. Is there a difference between a DevOps engineer and DevOps? Nope, that was wrong. Did not mean to pin that. That was not what I meant to pin. Unpin the message. All right, there we go. All right, we're good. This is the wrong resume that I did not bring up. Let me get it up real quick. All right, this is the resume that we're looking for. This is a DevOps engineer. So their ratio is actually pretty good, so I'm expecting this to be good. So they said they don't know their exact ratio, but in 2 to 3 weeks, I got like 3 to 4 interviews and have applied to around 60 positions. That's phenomenal. I know I don't have Linux in my keywords, but to be honest, it's kind of a requirement that you don't think needs to be mentioned. It may need to be mentioned. I mean, look, it doesn't matter what you think is needed. It matters what's in the job description. And if it's in the job description, it's needed. Although, admittedly, you don't necessarily need just Linux. It could be Linux or, like, Windows or whatever. But let's see. Is Linux actually even a requirement? Yeah, it is. Okay. So, my main goal is to find a job outside of Brazil, mostly US, LATMA, or EU. So, assuming you have the visa requirements, you would be going for a remote role. So, let's check to see what this resume is. I'm expecting it to be solid. DevOps engineer with scalable cloud, AWS. Again, this should be here. This needs to be one line and not bolded, but it's a minor thing. Support engineering teams company-wide, maintaining infrastructure that handles 50 plus million monthly requests. That could actually be needed. AWS, EC2, and EKS, that's the cloud. Reduced AWS, again, I want to know. Built to maintain Jenkins pipelines. Here it is. So lower. Supported infrastructure, largest streaming platform with other ability nationwide. So that's pretty good. With networking, content delivery architecture, including caching, load balancing, traffic distributions, point of presence, migrated infrastructure as code. There we go. Good. Helped to maintain Git labs. I think Git was one of them. Might not be. But you still have a lot of stuff with like networking. Let's see. Infrastructure as code is good. Compliance. So Google Cloud, Google Cloud, Jenkins, infrastructure, cloud, and Terraform. So yeah, it's not terrible. I think you need a little bit more, but it also may be that the kind of the problem is the keywords change based on the location. So maybe these are better for like Brazil's keywords and not necessarily for the US or vice versa. especially because like the UK has different keywords than the US. So it's kind of hard for me to tell them the keywords, but you do have like part of it here. Again, I want this to be in here, but I do like that you have AWS right up front. You have infrastructure as code right down here. You have architecture, which is always a good one. We have networking, we have cloud, and a couple of those. So, and your metrics actually can be understood by a layman. So pretty good. Could be, I think, better in the formatting and probably a little cleaner on which keywords we want, but also it may be based on where you're applying those are not the keywords. So not bad. Could be probably better, but I do like that you have DevOps engineer as well. It's actually, they really like seeing DevOps engineer. So that's all I can do for this one. Let's go. Wait, what? Oh, in progress. So you're graduating December. Okay, yeah. Let's go to the next one. Hey, what the heck? Just got here randomly and you're reviewing my DevOps. Oh, this is yours. That's a good time. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I just finished the review, but you can ask me any questions about it. I would be very happy to answer them. I have a bit of a headache right now, so my brain is not processing stuff, but I don't think this is bad. I think it maybe you want more keywords, but also based on where you are, the keywords could change, so I'm not sure. So did you have any questions about that? Anything that you want to know? Now is your time to ask. I'd be glad to help. But that was very good timing on your part. So and I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to double check if there's anything here, but feel free to type. Oh, I forgot to have my little typey thing in. But yeah, I got about 30-40 minutes left in the stream, so we got a little bit of time. Yeah, about metrics, I put some numbers, not sure it's not people. Yeah, so numbers are not as needed as people think. In fact, I would argue that you kind of want to have very little numbers because it can be misread. But a good way to show your numbers is if it makes sense to somebody that doesn't know your industry. So I am sure as a DevOps engineer, Vale Yards, you have a relative or an aunt, an uncle, maybe a mother, a parent, whatever, and you told them that you were a DevOps engineer, and they say, "Oh, can you help me turn on my computer?" So, if your metrics are understandable to those people, it's a good metric. But I know why people say they need metrics. It's because they're not understanding exactly what we need. It's because they want to show a little bit of like what you did, but you don't necessarily need the numbers. So, okay, this isn't Venezuela. That's why. United States. And filters reset. So as an example, this is a good sentence, not just because of the number, but because of what you did. So like migrated infrastructure from this to this is okay. Built to maintain deployments, but this is good. I would say one of your best is this because you sort of show what the keyword is. But yeah, you don't necessarily need numbers. I actually think that you probably want less numbers in your resume. But these are at least good numbers. Like this, well, I don't like gained hands-on experience, but like if you just said worked with this right here, networking architecture, that would be a phenomenal sentence. Let's see. Built infrastructure as code with Terraform to provide. This right here is arguably one of your best sentences. Because it just tells me what I need. It tells me how you used it and why you used it. So, also just remember, nothing here should be bolded. This doesn't need a bullet point. These are what have your bullet points. But it's not bad, especially if it's getting you like a 20-1 ratio. Like, is it actually getting you a 20-1 ratio? Because that seems really good. And it also could be that based on where you're applying, those are the correct terms. So I don't want to judge it too harshly on that because, you know, the US keywords are going to be probably different than the Europe, than the APAC, than the Venezuelan ones. So it's all going to be different and dependent on the location. It's not a good job description. All right. PLC field engineer. What does the PLC stand for? PL engineer is a programmable logic controller. No, that's accounting. Okay, I think this is right. Yeah, but they're thinking I'm a senior DevOps. I'm trying to sell my. The market right now is asking for it. The market is always asking for senior people. Every single time, it will be seniors. It's very rare that they're gonna ask for a non-senior. Everybody wants seniors. And remember, your resume is not to sell yourself. Resumes are very, 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 very bad at showing how good you are. They are there to show the minimum qualifications. If you try to write a resume to show how good you are, it is going to fail. Where is this? This is 4. Okay. So I think this is right. Oh, this is yours. Okay. This yours? Probably. It's the PLC engineer. This actually can be very helpful because I'm not super sure if these are the right job descriptions. Okay, bad job description. Okay, cool. So, do me a favor. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Is this, what the? I did not say for you, Gemini. I did not want you to speak. At no point did I ask you a question. All right. Is this right? Is it a PLC technician? Is it a PLC programmer? Are they different? I just want to make sure that we get the right one. So it's a programmable logic controller, correct? That I assume is the word. But yeah, Valeyard. So, but Valeyards, if you are getting like a 1 in 20, that's not terrible. But they do background checks, so make sure your resume is accurate. At least in the US, I don't know about other countries. PLC is right. Okay, cool. So is a PLC technician and a PLC engineer the same, or are these different jobs? In fact, that might be a different job. That might be the issue, is that the job title itself needs to be different. PLC, robotics, units, key requirements. Okay, so this seems closer. That background check just what? Right, so technician and engineers are pretty much the same. I think techs need only 2 years. Okay. So if you're applying in the US, they check like if you got the job, how long you've been at it, and that kind of stuff. So, because I just want to make sure that you're aware of that they do check how long you've been at the company, when you were on it, a bunch of other stuff like that. Okay, cool. So as long as it's both, that's all I really care about. I think my glasses were wrong. That's why I was not able to do that. So CNC machines, really? CNC. Because, yes, they do want seniors, but you don't want to overhype yourself because that's going to hurt you more than it's going to help. But industrial AC drives, PLC programming, Alan Bradley, ideal transmission, field machine startup troubleshooting, PLC programmer. Yeah, that was why. I moved my glasses and now my headache's going away. MS Office every single time. Okay, PLC programmer, PLC Siemens, Fanuc, Thanuk, and Yasukawa. What are these? Oh, that's from Insight Global. We don't count that. They're wrong. I don't trust Insight Global. They have a very not good reputation. Entry-level PLC. Alan Bradley does seem to be pretty common, though. They're robots. Okay, that's kind of cool. PLC view, Traps device, the Rio troubleshooting, AutoCAD. I mean, this is for a completely different job. This is not like programming. This is, I mean, maybe it's programming. PLC technician. Hard robotics, pneumatic controls. PLC programming. So I think this is a case of so tequila, you know how in software engineers I say you need like back end, you need to specify. It's possible you may want one or two resumes for this because it seems like this is subdivided into something. I'm not sure what, because I'm not as knowledgeable about this, but it does seem like to be yeah, here it is. The factory talk view into a couple of different ones, which seems to be these. So it seems like they run on a couple of these. Are these like programs, or Clem gave Bear a treat? Okay. During the ad, I will go downstairs because I need to get him another treat bag, and we have one in a second. So I will run down and get that, and then we'll give him a treat. But he is over here. Bear, did you thank Clem? You're gonna get a treat. Look at me. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Bear, look at me. Look at me. Are you guarding the door? Okay, you're not doing anything interesting. You're just laying down. Okay, PLC programmer. Okay, so it seems like it's divided into hardware, which does in thermal controls, machinery, and industry. Okay, PLC integrations, multilingual, AC drives, troubleshooting PLC. Here it is. So these are what we need. Factory talks, Schneider, motion control, Schneider. Okay, so this is, I think I'm starting to get this. Hey, Liz, sorry I was lifting a giant TV with friends. You are not forgiven. You will never be forgiven. Yeah, my glasses were wrong. That's why I was having a headache. I'm so upset. I was having a headache for like 2 hours and I was messing up because my glasses were slightly askew. Advanced troubleshooting. Troubleshoot is huge. So it seems we have, these are going to be troubleshooting, PLC programming, and then it's going to be sort of like the machines, which is going to be like AC, DC, and then it was like thermo type of thing. Okay, I think we're getting this one now. Alan Bradley control object. Yeah. So we do want Alan Bradley. We want Samian, TA Portal, Rockwell Factory View. There's probably a couple of others, but I think these are the most important ones that I've seen again. So, and then I will check again because this is a completely new thing that I've never done before. Alan Bradley. There we go. Samian's. Yep, there it is. Mitsubi. There's a lot of stuff. Java programming. And then we have Factory Talk View, which apparently is different. And I'm sure you know what is different. I don't. Okay, let's not have that down there. So, okay, I think that's good. RIP. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go downstairs. I'll be right back. I ran out of treats for him. I need to get him more. Okay. Hi. Yeah, you're going to get one. Yeah, I know. You're going to get a treat. Can you thank Clem? Can you speak? Woof. 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 Do you not like it when I bark at you? Woof. Woof. Okay, don't. Morph. Morph. Okay, thank you for sneezing on me. That is what I wanted. I wanted you to sneeze on me, Bear. All right. Oh, these are... Okay, these are slightly bigger than the other treats, so let me break that in half for you, buddy. Okay, so we're going to try to catch this, okay? We're going to work on your coordination. So I'm going to toss it in 3, 2, 1, okay? 3, 2, 1, catch. Good boy. Good catch. Good. Borf. Borf. Sometimes if you borf at him, he will bark back. All right. Good boy. Yes. Okay. I think I got all of these. So you said you've got about 100 to 1, and that's not good. My resume, I don't think I've seen a review of control engineers. I definitely have not. Also curious on you and your fellows recruiting on TN visas. So I don't think I'll say this during the video, but TN visas, the biggest issue is I've never worked with them and I don't know the thing with it. So it's possible what you may need is a actual summary. So I'm probably not going to go over this in the video, but you may need a summary in between here, which states that you are able to work because of the TN visa and you do not need sponsorship, or you can work for up to X amount of years without sponsorship or whatever it is, because we don't know what that is, right? Like, I think that's a Canadian visa, but I don't know. And I've never done that before. So, all right, let's ban the cheap viewers. I want expensive viewers. So, you will probably want a actual summary. This is one of the few cases where you want a little summary that is just says like, can work for the U.S. under any employer because of the TM visa, will not need sponsorship for like 10 years or whatever it is. I don't know if that's right. I don't know what a TM visa does. So And the reason they have probably ghosted you is they think it's the equivalent of an H-1B, which is a nightmare of a process, even if a company accepts it. So, you need the summary. A few other questions. Okay, cool. So let us begin with your thing in a second. My brain need work. Please, brain. Please be work. Okay, so it's about a 1 in 100. This is 1-4. This is a resume that I've never reviewed before. It is a PLC engineer or PLC technician or PLC programmer. They have a lot of names that apparently mean the same thing. So what we're going to be looking for is your education in this. I want to see programmable logic controller, which is PLC, just once at least. I want to see MS Office. I don't know why, but a lot of them had it. CNC is nice to have, but here's sort of where the biggest breakdown is. So there are in these jobs a lot of keywords, but you don't necessarily need all of them. The most common ones seem to be broken down into either Siemens Semantic or Allen Bradley. There's also a one or two others that were robots like FUKOW, but primarily it's going to be broken down into whatever this is, and then 1 or 2 or 3 of these. But although Factory Talk View is the most important one. And this was in almost every single job, which was troubleshooting. You want troubleshooting in here and PLC programming. And then it's sort of broken down in like the type of thing. So it's going to be like thermo or AC or DC. And no, I don't know what those mean in this context, but that's what the job description said. So let us see. All right. Designed, programmed, and tested PLC controls for over a dozen automated warehouse for homes material handling solutions for major clients. So they weren't really asking for this. So I think what we can say is we could just say programmed PLC, right? Control systems for our warehouses and fulfillment centers. I think that would probably be enough. And that could actually even fit on one line. Also, your formatting here is a little off. This should be one line. This should be one line. And you don't really need this little line in between these. So, but that's minor. PLC programming and structure test function blocks and Siemens. So here's an issue. I'm going to pronounce this as S. So S, whatever this is, was a part of the keywords. The problem is there's a lot of other keywords here, and it's possible they would miss this. So I would sort of basically scrub this sentence down to just say, like, you know, worked with S and Allen Bradley X or Y. All right. And then this, the TI portal we just did, advanced troubleshooting of controls, good. So you don't even need to say advanced. Like, what is the difference between advanced and intermediate and beginner and expert? So just say troubleshoot controls, electrical, mechanical, and network systems, right? Grammatically, that doesn't make sense, but make it a little bit more sense, and that should be fine. I don't know if I saw AutoCAD really on this one. But configured, integrated, and troubleshot FD, PLCs, network switches, third party. Yeah, it's just very heavy. And I don't see talk view. And if I did, I might have missed it. Or RS Logics or whatever Logics. So I think these numbers I don't see. But I did see. Let's see. I also don't see MS Office, which was in a lot of them. I don't know why, but it was. Developed and maintained apartment using Python, HTML, JavaScript. I don't think there's anything here that I need. Yeah, so it's the biggest problem is it's very wordy, and this is an issue that you can have like mechanical engineers and software engineers is you can't fit in every keyword. So I would very much focus on, do not bold these in your resume. This is just to help you understand. Please don't bold this in the resume, but you want to focus sort of on this stuff right here. And then make sure that you have at least a sentence with MS Office. But that is sort of what's going to get you a job. Because a lot of them were different. That was true. But they had a similarity of either having either the Semantic or Allen Bradley. And they usually had one thing from this list. They wanted troubleshooting. They wanted PLC programming. So this is a 100-to-1 resume. So we can definitely improve it with those. And I think that should help an awful lot. Let's go to the next resume. All right. Did that make sense? Is there any questions to which you need for this? I did not cover the visa thing because that was sort of specific, but that's kind of the issue. Is I think you got confused by all of those, which makes sense. But there was a common thread of what they were looking for, which seemed to mainly be troubleshooting, PLC programming, and then one of those or two of those things from that list that I showed. So if you just sort of focus on that, I think you will have more. Although, admittedly, you're probably your biggest issue, more so than anything else, is that you say you have a TN visa and they don't understand it. It's highly likely that because the recruiter doesn't understand it, they're ghosting you, which is tanking your ratio. Because, like, yeah, if we don't understand that we can hire you, we will not move forward. So, did you have any other questions for me? Before I move to the next one. I had it at MS Office sending it in before this summary. Yeah, I mean probably the summary, and again, it's too technical because when you're looking at these, like they kind of all like there's a lot of junk. Like you don't need all of this. You don't need all of this. But they kind of break down into Fanuc, which that was what it was. This Fanuc should have been there. That should probably be in there as well. I didn't mention that. But they mostly wanted Siemens. So they wanted basically a program or whatever. And then we go here. This is a bad job description. We can ignore that. This is a corporate attorney, which I don't know why that's there. But look, they wanted logics. So you can start seeing the pattern, which this one, yeah, this one is new, but they also kind of want logics or PLC and troubleshooting in one of those things. Yeah, it is, but it is very technical jargony, I will admit. But if you're starting to look at the commonalities, it really does seem like they all kind of want either Logix or Siemens or Foucault or Factory Talk View or Allen Bradley, and then they want troubleshooting and PLC programming. So you don't need everything. Remember, you don't need everything. You really only need about 75%. So, not a good job description. Also not a good job description. There it is. Yeah, so Allen Bradley, and then Logix. Look, so you want Logix, you want Allen Bradley, you want the other one. Siemens is like Mac versus Windows. Okay, that's what I was sort of thinking. So realistically, you probably should have like an Allen Bradley and a Siemens resume. Okay, cool. But I don't know if I even saw Siemens in yours. Maybe I did and I missed it. But so focus on that. If you have RS Logic, any of these, it's good. We want one of these. The Logix, but because those were in a lot of them too. Yeah. Yeah, that was the commonality. Look, I don't know how to pronounce that. I know what it sounds like, and I'm trying to pronounce it right, but I'm not pronouncing it right. It was Siemens. It's PG-13. That is how it is, I think, pronounced. So I'm pronouncing it the correct way. Do recruiters come in with industry specializations? They try to, but usually no. And the reason for that is, like, as an example, when I was at Agilent, I was working with Python developers, oligonucleotide scientists, other scientists, lab techs, sales, which was like account managers, data science managers, NLP engineer roles, one or two, like I think engineer roles, and a lot of other different roles. So realistically, a recruiter is going to be working in multiple industries, even within the same company. Simmons. Okay. But yeah, they are going to be working in multiple industries in the same company. So can they have specializations? Yes. Realistically, it's not going to help as much. And it's kind of like extra credit, realistically. Like, it is nice to have a recruiter that knows this, but it's not mandatory. So, like, it's extra credit on a test. That's really what it is. But, Tequila Tom, is there anything else you needed for your resume, or is that it? I just want to make sure you're good before I move on to the other one. Which is a front-end dev. So, realistically, you don't get a recruiter that is going to be specialized unless it's at a company like maybe Amazon. And they try to do it, but I've never seen it work out. Okay, cool. No worries. But yeah, the biggest reason you can't really get a specialized recruiter is there's usually not enough roles for that in particular to justify having a recruiter. Like, I had a little bit more difference in my, like, I guess, specialization, because if a role was hard, I would take it on and fill it. I was sort of the troubleshooter, like the next tier of escalation of recruiters, but there was a limit to how many I could do that with at a time. But even then, usually you're going to be working in like 2 or 3 industries. And like the IT recruiter is also potentially going to be working with accounting and like mechanical engineers. So you based on what a company needs, you probably could not afford to have an industry specialized recruiter in everything that you have. Because if you only need like 3 accountants a year, why would you pay for a specialized recruiter for accountants, right? Like, that's a waste of money. And I say that as someone who wants to be paid for that. So, specializations in recruiting is nice. It is a bonus, but you can very easily find stuff without it. And I even tell that to managers. I'm like, hey, how do you think I hired for all of these? And the answer is, I don't know those industries, but you know the hiring manager. So ideally, Bear, why are you moving down? I'm trying to pet you. Ideally, you know the hiring manager, not the individual industry, because the hiring manager is the one that is the de facto decision maker. And if you can find what they want, you're good. And usually you can do enough research in like a couple of hours. So, but like I said, it's extra credit. It's not required. People like to say it's required, and I feel like I'm living proof that it's not. So, Bear, what are you doing? All right, let's do this resume. This is a resume of a front-end developer. So, assuming this is going to be in the US, which, again, I think the keywords between the US and the UK and the EU for front-end dev are the same. We're going to be looking for JavaScript, React, AngularJS, HTML, CSS, and PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful APIs, SEO, WordPress, Git, Docker, Jira, Vue, Next, and a bonus is going to be extra language, Cloud, UI, UX, SASS, and TypeScript. So, this person said they had a 50 ratio, which is a 1 to 50, which is not bad. It's not good. That's like average, like a C minus. Hopefully that is accurate, because they did not give me any information, but let's see if that is the case or not. So, okay, don't care about this. This should be 1 line. Again, that's not major, but you really don't want a summary unless you're switching industries. So, programming languages, this again can be ignored. Professional experience. Also, we don't necessarily need to know when you started, only if you finished it. So, pardon me, you don't really need the when you started the college. You just take when you finished it, or status graduated. So, developed a responsive website using HTML, Tailwind CSS, and JavaScript, and that's good. Built and launched full stack using React, good. Node.js and MongoDB, that's a partly full stack, but we have React. Driving a 60% increase in leads for clients that are using it through SEO. SEO is a good one. Reduced load times, engagement, and lazy loading, don't care about that. Integrated RESTful API, yep, there we go. And UX. So with the exception of this, this is really solid. And I think if anything, this is hurting you. This is hurting you because this is exactly how I would like someone to write these bullet points, with the exception of this. This right here, and I don't know if it's going to do it on my computer, this and the last bullet point of this are enough to potentially get you a interview. That's it. These are how you write it, right here and right here. And the SEO. I don't need all these percentages, but the rest of it is really good. Like, I don't know if I need to go further down. I kind of already found it. Realistically, what's happening is they're seeing all of this and they're missing the actual keywords down here. So you don't need this. You don't need this. You do need to keep the education. And you need to format it. You just need to say like 2021 or status graduated. But otherwise, this is really good. Like, do I need to go further down? I don't know. I kind of found everything I needed. Operational support. Yeah, there's nothing here that I really care about. Timeline, it's a little weird, but so yeah, you may want to actually delete this because I think this is hurting you. Junior Android developer. Android could be good. I don't know if the keywords for Android and this are the same or not, but there are a lot of overlap. So I would, if anything, just delete this, delete this, delete this, and redo this sentence to maybe add SQL. Yeah, SQL and Angular, and maybe Git. And I think you're good. This is primarily a formatting one. I'm glad that we could end this on a good note. But yeah, that's it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you need more help, stop by my live stream at Monday, Wednesday, Friday at twitch.tv/Headless Headhunter, 11 a.m. PST. That's where I get these keywords. And, you know, if you are a developer, this is how I want those to be written. I don't care about the 60%, but everything else is good. These are good keywords. This is really good. Your formatting is just hurting you. So I will see you all in the next video, and I'm happy to help you get ahead in your job search. Yeah, I really like that. That's actually a really good one. Like, that's kind of the thing that people don't always get is once I find what I'm looking for, I stop. Like, why do I need to go further down? This is good. I have what I need. These are actually just held back by its formatting. But these are very good. This is how I want the bullet points. In fact, I think I may copy this to on my bullet point template under, what do I want to use? Developed using X, Y, Z. Let's see. Tool use would probably be under. Okay. So yeah, that is it for me today. Let us raid another channel. I will be back Friday, which is the end of the week, and we get to have fun, even though I'm working on the weekend. So let's just, unless anybody has any last minute questions, otherwise we're gonna raid. And raiding helps me out, gives us branding, and helps others out. So let us do the raid unless other questions, and I will see you all on Friday. Now I think the Rebecca Black song, Friday, it's been forever since I've heard that, and that's probably a good thing. Let's see. Who do we got? We got Satolix. I think Satolix is good. It's been a bit since I've rated this person, so thank you all for joining me, and away we go slowly. Away we go slowly. That's the word I'm looking for. Begin the raid. Click the buttons, Lee. You need to click the buttons. Alrighty. And 3 and 2 and 1 and nope, I was too early. Now it's a 2 and a 1. Thank you, everybody. I will see you on Friday. GG's.